At 47 years old, Robyn Brown now finds herself living the life she once claimed she wanted: monogamy with Kody Brown. Yet, as Sister Wives Season 20 unfolds, that dream has become her greatest burden. Gone are the days of unity, of shared responsibility, of even the illusion of plural harmony. Today, Robyn stands as the last wife in a fractured empire, the last believer in a love story that's fallen apart in full public view. And in a shocking confession, she's finally revealed the 3 hardest parts of being Kody Brown's only remaining wife: rejection, emotional exhaustion, and isolation. This isn't the Robyn that fans were introduced to more than 10 years ago. She was heralded as the Brown family savior, the spiritual, soft-spoken peacemaker who would bring balance to the chaos. Nowadays, she is the symbol of what went wrong, the woman at the center of the collapse, and perhaps for the first time, she's admitting it. Insiders and footage that aired on Season 20 of Sister Wives reveal that Robyn describes her life with Kody as exhausting, lonely, and uncertain. Now, after Christine, Janelle, and Mary had all left, she should have finally had some peace. Instead, what she inherited was the full weight of Kody's anger, confusion, and guilt. The man who once divided his affection among 4 households now has only one place to channel all of that energy. And it's breaking her down. The first and most painful truth Robyn admits to is this: Kody's rejection didn't end when the other wives left. It got worse. She's living with a man who doesn't know how to process loss. Every argument, every silence, every sudden mood swing is the echo of 3 failed marriages. He's grieving out loud, she says, and I'm the one who has to listen. To Kody, Robyn has become both confidant and target. He veers between rage and remorse, unable to forgive himself for losing his family, yet unwilling to admit he caused it. In those moments, Robyn isn't a wife. She's a therapist, a caretaker, a mirror for his guilt. And as she confesses, it's suffocating. Behind the smiles and the carefully worded interviews, the truth is clear. Kody Brown is not taking to monogamy well. He speaks about being tamed, about being content with one woman, but even his own words betray him. He calls Robyn his battle buddy, not his soulmate, a telling metaphor for a marriage that feels more like survival than love. "We're partners in endurance," Robyn says. That's not the same as being partners in joy. For years, Robyn's greatest weapon was her poise, the shaking voice, the delicate tears, the soft deflections. But even those tools are losing their potency. The fans have noticed. The blank stares, the muffled responses, the exhaustion etched across her face. She's no longer playing the shy peacekeeper. She's the woman left holding the wreckage, wondering when her turn for freedom will come. The second most challenging thing about being Kody's only wife, Robyn admits, is a complete lack of support or instruction on what lies after plural marriage. The show made history for exploring polygamy, but it never prepared her for what it means to be the last one standing. There's no community to turn to, no playbook for rebuilding intimacy after decades of shared affection and emotional competition. There are ghosts everywhere she looks: empty bedrooms, silenced phone calls, children who no longer visit. Kody's grief has become her reality, his isolation now her daily routine. "He doesn't know how to be with one woman," she says softly. "And I don't know how to be the only one left." But the most haunting part of her confession comes when she admits the third truth, that monogamy doesn't feel fulfilling. Not for Kody and not for her. "I thought it would be beautiful," she whispers in one clip. But it's not. It's heavy. It's constant. It's lonely. The fairy tale is gone, and what is left is this fatigue, deep in the bones, a result of faking for too long that everything was fine. And yet Robyn stays. Whether from loyalty, fear, or habit, she is the last Brown wife still playing her part, on a stage where everyone else has already taken their final bow. The soft light of the camera captures Sister Wives Season 20, the tone subdued but with an unmistakable tension. Robyn Brown sits with Kody, her eyes darting, hands clasped tight in her lap, as he launches into yet another confessional about loyalty, betrayal, and being misunderstood. The more he talks, the smaller she seems to shrink. What is often unseen on the cameras is the invisible labor that comes with being the emotional caretaker of a man unraveling under his own ego. Robyn once saw Kody as a strong, confident leader, a man of faith and purpose. She now lives with the ghost of that man, haunted by his bitterness and resentment. She says being the only wife left has made her marriage a full-time job, managing Kody's pain. Every day for her is like treading on a minefield of his insecurities. One wrong word would trigger a spiral. He talks about his ex-wives all the time, she confesses. About how they betrayed him, how they didn't believe in him, and I just sit there nodding, listening, trying not to make it worse. Her voice breaks as she whispers an admission many watchers have long suspected. She's tired of being the only one trying. Robyn says there are nights that Kody retreats to his room alone, replaying old fights with Christine or Mary, rewriting history with himself as the victim. She wants to comfort him, but every attempt blows up in her face. If I say he's right, he thinks I'm pitying him. If I say he's wrong, he says I've turned against him. This is a lose-lose marriage based on survival. She says it's consuming her spirit. The second hardship Robyn faces, one she never imagined, is the absence of a support system. For years, she could turn to the sister wives for perspective, even if it was strained. Now there's no one left who understands her world. The friendships, fragile as they were, served as emotional scaffolding. Without them, she's isolated. I used to be angry at them, she admits quietly. Now I just miss them. Gone is Janelle's practicality, Christine's humor, even Mary's calm. In their place, silence, and the low-grade hum of Kody's discontent. And what makes it worse is that Robyn is caught between two impossible truths. She can't leave because she's built her entire life around him, financially, emotionally, spiritually, but she can't stay without slowly eroding herself. She once described Kody as her destiny. Now she calls him her duty. The cracks show most when they are filming. When Kody forces jokes about their wild nights, Robyn's face freezes. When he calls her his battle buddy, she flinches. He means it as playfulness. She hears it as proof he has lost touch with reality. It's not romantic anymore, she confesses. It's exhausting. Every day is about keeping him calm, keeping the story alive, pretending everything's okay. Privately, she has started to acknowledge something she would never have uttered earlier. That being Kody's only wife is lonelier than being one of 4. Back then, at least someone else understood what I was dealing with, she says. Now it's just me. Behind the scenes, even crew members have noticed a change. The woman who once cried to gain sympathy now cries because she genuinely doesn't know what else to do. As one insider said, Robyn isn't the villain anymore. She's the prisoner. Her life has become a paradox. She has the man all to herself, yet she has never felt more lonely. There was a time when Robyn Brown felt like she knew her purpose. Joining Kody's family wasn't a marriage. It was a mission. In her words, she was called to plural marriage, that her union with Kody was divinely ordained. But over time, that faith turned into something darker, a belief that the only way to keep her place, her home and her family's security, was to stay quiet, agreeable, and small. Now, at 47, Robyn is realizing that control can destroy the person who wields it. For years, she mastered the art of manipulation through softness, a tear here, a gentle plea there. When Kody's temper exploded, she was the soothing voice. When the other wives challenged him, she became the victim. It worked, for a while. But what happens when the man you once soothed becomes impossible to soothe? When your quiet influence no longer inspires devotion, only dependence? That's Robyn's reality now. The very control she once used to maintain balance has turned inward, strangling her own identity. She doesn't make decisions, she manages reactions. She doesn't dream, she deflects. She's become a shadow of herself, tiptoeing around Kody's emotional storms, performing gratitude while privately falling apart. Sources close to the Brown family describe a silent home. A big, echoing house where nobody talks unless cameras are around. Kody broods about betrayal, while Robyn moves silently through her routines, in front of the camera, homeschooling, tidying, filming, pretending. She tells herself she's keeping the peace. Really, she's keeping up appearances. In one especially revealing scene, Kody calls her his battle buddy. He means it as a compliment, a sign of partnership through adversity. But to Robyn, it's a confession. She doesn't feel like his lover anymore. She feels like a comrade in a war she didn't choose. "We used to talk about love," she says in a confessional. Now it's about survival. Her attempt to hold everything together has only made her invisible. Even the audience, once divided between sympathizing and criticizing, sees her now as a ghost. She rarely speaks. When she does, her words sound rehearsed, safe, as if she's trying not to provoke the man sitting beside her. "It's like watching someone trapped in slow motion," one viewer said. Every blink feels like a cry for help. But Robyn's silence is more than exhaustion. It's fear of losing control. Fear of facing the truth that maybe she isn't the favorite wife anymore, but instead the last one standing by default. Fear that without the other women to distract him, Kody's gaze and judgment are fixed entirely on her. Privately, Robyn has acknowledged that the burden of being the only wife is not the victory that fans once thought it was. It's isolation cloaked in privilege. "People think I won," she says, her voice low. "But what did I really win?" Her relationship with Kody is defined now by silent resentments. She resents his anger. He resents her stability. He needs someone to take the weight of his pain, and she needs someone to justify her sacrifice. It's a toxic balance, one that keeps them bound together, even as it tears them apart. Perhaps the most tragic part is that Robyn doesn't know how to stop performing. Producers on the show say that she resists authenticity. She worries how she'll look, how Kody will react, how the world will judge her. But that's the irony. The world has already judged her, and now it's pity, not envy, that follows her name. At night, when the cameras stop rolling, she lies awake, listening to Kody's restless pacing. He still talks about his lost family, his ruined reputation, about the world that turned against him. And she listens because listening is all she knows how to do. Somewhere in the middle of surviving him, she stops surviving herself. There's a strange kind of loneliness that comes from getting everything you thought you wanted. For Robyn Brown, it's the kind that sits in the quiet corners of her home. A $900,000 Flagstaff mansion full of silence. The children's laughter is long gone. The chaos of sister wives shared is absent. And the man who promised her forever now paces as a ghost in the halls. For years, Robyn was branded as the favorite wife. Fans blamed her for breaking up the family, for monopolizing Kody's attention, for turning him against the others. But now, as the camera pans over her weary expression in Sister Wives Season 20, that title feels like a cruel joke. The favorite wife looks trapped, exhausted, and utterly alone. The loneliness didn't come overnight, but rather in the pauses between Kody's rants, in the way he stares past her when he talks of Christine or Janelle, in the way his touch feels performative for cameras but absent when they're alone. Robyn has mourned a marriage that still technically exists. She used to believe her loyalty would save them. When Christine left, she comforted Kody. When Janelle distanced herself, Robyn told him to have patience. When Mary finally walked away, Robyn cried on camera, insisting she still wanted the family back. But those tears, once symbols of sincerity, have dried into something else. Resignation. Because here's the truth. Robyn can't say out loud. She doesn't want the family back anymore. She just wants to stop being the only one left to carry Kody's emotional wreckage. Her friends say she's grown increasingly withdrawn, even paranoid. She doesn't trust easily, doesn't reach out, doesn't take comfort in the fan sympathy that has slowly shifted her way. She used to cry to get people on her side, one insider says. Now she cries because she's finally realizing there's no one left to convince. Even the children feel the weight of her sadness. The younger ones, like Ariella and Solomon, sense the tension even if they don't understand it. Reportedly, older kids such as Aurora and Brianna are struggling with anxiety and attachment, hovering around their mother like emotional satellites, unable to separate from her grief. Meanwhile, Kody veers wildly between bursts of forced optimism and waves of despair. When he's not filming confessionals about betrayal, he's brooding about his lost family empire. The irony? He still sees himself as the victim, the misunderstood patriarch who gave everything and got nothing in return. For Robyn, that's the delusion that's most difficult. He talks about being alone, she says, like I'm not sitting right there. It's in those moments that her loneliness becomes unbearable. She is sharing a home with a man who can't see her. Not really. He sees her as proof that he still has a marriage, a brand, a storyline, but not as a person, not as someone whose needs have gone unmet for years. The marriage has become a sort of performance art. Two people playing love to a camera that has yet to stop rolling since their world fell apart. In public, they hold hands. In private, they avoid eye contact. When the cameras leave, so does their connection. Even TLC seems to feel the void. What used to be raucous family dinners are now dull confessional scenes, forced conversation, and long silences. Robyn's scenes feel most painful. The pauses stretch longer, her words slower, her tone detached. It's the sound of someone who has stopped trying to be understood. Yet she stays. Because leaving means admitting defeat. It means unraveling the financial ties, the show contracts, the fragile security that comes with being Mrs. Kody Brown. And deep down, it means confronting the terrifying truth that she might have destroyed everything for a man who was never capable of love in the first place. It's not lost on her that Christine is happy now, that Janelle looks freer, that even Mary, after years of rejection, finally looks lighter. They've rebuilt. They've moved on. Robyn's still stuck in the rubble, clutching the one thing that no longer brings her peace, the title of wife. She once tearfully said, "I wanted this family. I fought for this family, and now I don't know if I even recognize what's left." Her isolation is complete. She's not just Kody's last wife, she's his last witness, the only one left to watch the empire crumble from the inside. There's a moment in Sister Wives Season 20 that feels like an ending dressed as an episode. Kody Brown is mid-confessional, defending himself per usual when Robyn interrupts, something she hardly ever does. Her voice doesn't rise, it cracks. "Kody, you're not listening," she says. "You're not hearing what I'm saying anymore." The silence that follows is deafening. For the first time, Kody looks genuinely lost. That's the moment fans will look back on years from now. The first fracture in what was supposed to be the unbreakable bond. The day the last wife standing finally stopped standing up for him. But behind the scenes, crew members describe the shift as seismic. Robyn, once compliant and cautious, began pulling away from filming. She canceled interviews. She refused to answer certain questions. The soft-spoken woman who once performed heartbreak for sympathy has grown weary of her own script. "She's done pretending," a source said. The weight of being his only wife has finally broken her. The third hardship Robyn reveals, in those rare, unguarded moments, is the hardest one to admit. She's afraid of what happens next. Not afraid of divorce, but afraid of freedom. For years, she has defined herself by Kody's needs, his moods, his validation. Without that, who is she? She's starting to find out. Production insiders whisper that Robyn has quietly met with financial advisors, not because she plans to leave immediately, but because for the first time, she's preparing for the possibility. She's seen Christine and Janelle thrive once they broke away. She's seen Mary reclaim her peace. The women she once pitied are living without the burden she still carries. And deep down, she knows that one day, she'll have to make that choice too. The once glamorous idea of being Kody's chosen one has curdled into something hollow. Their marriage is now a mutual dependency, all but a love story, with the two hanging on to the illusion that the show, the house, and the cameras mean something. Kody still tries to spin the narrative, telling the audience he and Robyn are stronger than ever. But every glance, every body language cue, every empty smile says otherwise. They've gone from partners in love to prisoners in the same emotional cell. The shared glances which once radiated affection now flash irritation. The pauses that once implied passion now feel like distance. And Robyn, the woman once accused of manipulating the entire family, has lost her ability to manipulate even herself. She can't continue on believing that endurance equals happiness. She can't keep acting out loyalty when her eyes belie her. She can't keep covering for Kody's delusions when evidence of their failure is playing out every week on the national stage. The tragedy is that both of them are trapped. Not by faith, not by love, but by the machine they built. TLC isn't filming a love story anymore. It's documenting a slow collapse. The death of a dream sold as destiny. The show's very title, Sister Wives, now feels like satire. There are no sisters left. Just one tired woman and one broken man pretending that something sacred still exists between them. For Robyn, every episode is like a mirror she no longer wants to look into. Each confessional forces her to relive her own choices, the tears, the alliances, the fallout. She once cried because she wanted to be understood. Now she cries because she finally understands. She's starting to see what everybody else already has. She didn't win. She inherited the wreckage. The last image the cameras capture this season is haunting. Robyn sits alone in the backyard of their huge, unfinished property at Coyote Pass, the land that was supposed to unite them all, and looks out over the empty lots where dreams of unity once stood, and whispers, "It was supposed to be all of us." Then she adds, almost to herself, "Now it's just me." That quiet admission is more powerful than any argument or tearful confessional. It's the sound of someone finally confronting the truth, that sometimes the hardest part of being the last one standing isn't the loneliness. It's realizing the fight was never worth winning. As the credits roll on yet another season of Sister Wives, one thing is certain. The era of Kody and Robyn as the fairy tale couple is over. What remains isn't love, it's legacy. A crumbling monument to pride, performance, and the illusion of control. The dream of plural marriage might have come to an end long ago, but the real battle for her identity, her peace, her freedom, has just begun for Robyn Brown.